I've done it. All right, good morning. What's up, YouTube? You're listening to the Real Life Trading Pre-Market Day Trading Show. Good morning out there, YouTube and traders from around the world. It's Robert Falco from Real Life Trading. And here we go. Is it going to be turnaround Thursday out there in the market? Usually it's like a turnaround Tuesday, but since the market was closed Monday, we didn't really get that. And it's just been an absolute train wreck in the broader market since we opened. This was just such a weak open. So last couple days been pretty tough. Here is your weekly chart, and looks like we are below the 20 on the SPY. Just trying to look on the SPY too. When was the last time we closed below the 20? The SPY hasn't closed below the 20 since October of 2020. The Qs definitely hadn't closed, because I know I looked at this one since over here, since April of 2020. So I think the medium term, the short term trend we knew has been down. Look at this fib retrace from where we started selling off here, bounced right to the 618, rolled over, and I think the medium term trend is starting to fail. Obviously, long term trend, when you zoom out enough, we probably wouldn't be worried about the long term trend until we're like closing below 350 and retesting and all that. But medium term trend is definitely shifting out there. So, especially in tech stuff, like if you haven't been careful by now, you've probably been getting wrecked. Let's see, Netflix. They have earnings tonight, I think. Netflix is a little extended to the downside. So since it's been selling off into earnings, unless their numbers are just horrible, I actually think that they get a little bit of a pop. I think that pop ends up getting sold and it resolves down into like 480. But I do think that it could get a quick little pop, maybe up into like 540, 550. Heck, maybe even like after hours 560, but I think that gets sold into. Unless their earnings are terrible. If their earnings are terrible, then and it gaps down, yeah, it's gonna get crushed. But they raised their prices. They did like the opposite of Peloton. NXRP. I read that right? Oh, NRXP. Sorry. Good to hold. No. Penny stock, biotech, probably going to zero. That would be a negative. Uh, yeah, I was wondering what Chinba was. Slow back. China. So the PBOC lowered interest rates again last night. China's in a full-on recession. So their largest housing manufacturers are illiquid, filing for protection, etc. So yeah, I get it. Baba is like way down there. I think it might even be able to get up into like 150, but after that, I think it gets sold. So there could be a play on these bullish a little bit. I'm personally not, outside of day trading, I'm not holding any Chinese stocks overnight. So like longer term, for me, absolutely not. But they could get a short term little rally. There's so many bag holders. I mean, look at like PDD, just absolutely dominated. I mean, it's still down 69%. Giggity. 78, 77, 78%. This thing was down like full on 2000 tech bubble in China last year. AWK, American Waterworks. This sounds like a square that you would buy on Monopoly. Was this the Monopoly piece? The Waterworks? And the electric company? So more utility play. It's holding up a little bit better, but in a rising interest rate, like when interest rates are zero, money that should be in fixed income like finds its way into utilities, right? Because they have a good yield. They're looked at as relatively safe. If rates start to rise, money that should be in fixed income that's hiding in utilities is probably going to come out of utilities and go back into fixed income. And again, I'm not saying that, 1.8% on the 10-year treasury is like great or anything like that. But there is money in some of these utilities that should not be there. It belongs in the fixed income market. And as rates go up, I think that some of the utilities are going to get hit a little bit. So I would just be careful getting too heavy in utilities. Airbnb. So I'm in some Airbnb. I have another second covered call I've sold on it. It's pretty much like I could probably buy this back today and take a look. I think it's at like 67, 70% capture. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, it's sold off. It's at 86% capture. Yeah, I'm probably going to buy back this covered call today. Look for hopefully a little bit of a bounce and then sell another one right in here. I really like this candlestick pattern right here. And I understand why we would get a little bit of a, high wave, a bear candle in there, squeezing between the moving averages. But then the fact that we like broke below it pretty much immediately and failed the 50, failed the 50, failed the 50 right here. That's not really great. And now we're all the way back down into this support and it's trying to hold. So I'm going to get a little more aggressive with my covered call sales. I think this is going to be now about $5 in premium that I've collected, chipping away at the dollar cost average. I got put the shares. So I had some put sale premium that I collected as well. Just being a little more defensive on Airbnb. I do think it's a little bit of a reopening play, but I also know, they're losing money. It's a tech stock, that kind of thing. So that's my plan personally on it. Pfizer, could it be a long-term hold? Sure. But I think the vaccine stocks have a little more pullback in them. Moderna has just been getting crushed. South Africa came out and said, what are they on in South Africa? 4 shots now? And it doesn't really do anything with Omicron. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the narrative's kind of starting to unravel with this stuff. I know a lot of people that are just like, hey, I'm done. I've had the shots. They still got the Omicron, whatever the hell it's called. And they're like, I'm done now. So I think there's just going to be less and less demand for these things. So Moderna, I think, will have some type of relief pop, but then it's probably to be sold. Even your longer term trend line right here, I know that's not the straightest line, is starting to break. So I think you could get a pop like this and then probably do something like that. Pfizer is a little bit different because they have obviously lots of other things, but a lot of the push that it had was because of the COVID vaccine. So I would look closer to 50 if I was buying it. Like Pfizer has plenty of other stuff. Moderna, doesn't have anything other than that. I know you didn't ask about Moderna, but for me, if I was buying Pfizer, I wouldn't start buying it until $50 and see how it holds up down there. Probably the 100's right in there. Activision, a short. Why would you short Activision? It's gonna get bought out for 95. Nope. I actually bought a bunch of. Well, not a bunch. I bought 300 shares of Activision. I think my average price is like 82.60. I had like 50 shares before that from a leftover position. I bought 300 more, and I bought some March $80 puts for I think $1.40, and I think by then we'll know a little bit more. But Microsoft has the money; they confirmed the buyout. Microsoft is not under regulatory scrutiny like Apple, Google, Facebook. Facebook probably the worst under regulatory scrutiny. Then probably Google, and then probably Amazon and Apple. So Microsoft's not really under as much. People don't hate on it on Capitol Hill. And last I checked, I think Pelosi still has some leaps on Microsoft. So I think they're going to let that go through. I'm actually very surprised that the risk arbs are giving this a $12, almost $13 premium. So it's about you're basically almost getting 15% on your money if you're to buy it right now and the buyout goes through. If it takes 6 months and you get 15%, that's a 30% annualized return. So I don't know. I wouldn't be shorting this. I don't think that makes any sense. AMD flushing. Let's see. I still would like AMD back. I like the 1618s. The back into anywhere between like 118 to 122 or so. You could look to start accumulating a position. I don't really care about analysts, upgrades, and downgrades. I think they're just mainly price chasers. What makes them more qualified than any one of us? Pretty much nothing. It did come down to 125 and bounce, so I think it actually could put in a little small bullish day for a day trade. Otherwise, like a swing trade, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd be playing it long right now. But if it starts coming back down into here, I would like it. This Fibonacci extension has been really, really nice. Definitely not as good as the Ford Fibonacci extension. Look at that. Oh my god. What kind of wizardry is this? So I sold my calls, not at the exact high, but pretty damn close. I'm pretty excited about that. I do think Ford's dip buyable, but yeah, gorgeous fib extension, great target to 2618. Is that the same fib from the advanced class? Yes, it is, Matthew. You mean at the beginning to mid of December? Where I said I think Ford is about to have an extended wave 5. Yep. That's how I picked that target, right below 26. And then on my shares, I did sell some covered calls. But the long calls that I bought, I'm out of. I sold those. So it needs a little bit of a pullback. Plus, if the overall market pulls back, I mean, everything's gonna get hit. So is China? Yeah, China's in play today. You get it. I think you get a little bit of a rally for a day trade. I think the rips are to be sold, so I don't know how far they'll go. I think there's a lot of bag holders. Let's go to everyone's favorite Kathy Wood, ARKK, just getting its clock cleaned. I don't know how many days on Twitter everyone's like, oh, the bottom's in, the bottom's in, the bottom's in, the bottom's in, the bottom's in. And it keeps resolving to the downside. Now, unfortunately, I sold this February put against my Leap put a little early. So I might actually, I literally have like -9 delta left. So I'm pretty, if this goes lower today, I'm probably going to get delta capped and I'm just going to have to close the position for a gain. But yeah, Kathy is in some serious trouble. She's unloading things at the lows, like skills. So she's unloading illiquid stocks. I mean, to no one. I mean, who's buying this? Yeah, Teladoc's like an absolute disaster. NTLA. There was one stock she had that was going up. I thought it was this one, but no, she's buying more of this every day. Ginkgo biloba. What is that? DNA. She keeps buying more of this. I think she said that there's a bubble in value stocks. I mean, she's lost it. Baba, I do think Baba could have a little bit of continuation today. Yeah, we are gapping above the 50. I don't like any of these stocks long term. Don't get me wrong, but it does look like we have a double bottom with a nice little neckline retest. Got a little higher low, nice little gap up. We might be able to get a little bit of a rally today. So if you're looking at a day trade on something like Baba, I definitely think that you can do that. I'm not holding any shares of any Chinese stock overnight. I also read yesterday that Luckin Coffee is going to try to relist on the New York Stock Exchange. Why the New York Stock Exchange? I don't know if they are or aren't. But if they even entertain that, I mean, that is just stupid. Why would they let that company relist after it was literally a fraud? Like they were cooking the books. For those of you that have been trading for a few years, there was this coffee company out of China that was like, oh, it's the Chinese Starbucks. Everyone was pumped about it. And then it ended up being to where it's like every coffee they sold, they marked it down like they sold like 10. And yeah, their books were all fraudulent. I think Muddy Waters actually got that one right, one of the short selling research papers. Yeah, it was LK, and then it went to like LK CNY or LKNCY, something. Yeah, this thing, it's OTC. But yeah, I don't know why they would let this thing relist back on the New York Stock Exchange. That's not good. Bros might be coming back to the IPO. If it does, I'm gonna pick some up. It's at this pretty critical support. I mean, this run was pretty crazy. I think we all knew that. Small microcap stock. I think they're still doing well. They did raise their prices. Coffee futures, I mean, are literally just. I mean, I don't know if they raised their prices enough to keep up with this, but holy smokes. Look at coffee futures. Whew. Nvidia, unfortunately, is a solid breakdown on Nvidia. I think Nvidia is going to come lower. I think we come down and fill this gap down around 230. So I did sell a put over here, bought it back, and I'm looking to see if I can resell the same put. I had sold to 200. I think I got 245, bought it back for $1. I'm going to see if I can resell the same put. I might sell a 210 somewhere right in here. I would like to buy it. But yeah, I think Nvidia is going to resolve lower. We might get a little retest, but I think we are going to roll over. So yeah, I don't really follow like Death Cross's Supreme Overlord. He resold the 195. You'd like to explain what delta cap is? Okay, like on ARC. Okay. So like on ARC, this put is a January of 2023 $100 put. So that has, well, I'll go in and read it off to you. So this has negative 62 delta. So for every dollar, almost 63, 62.71. I'll round it up, 63. So every dollar that ARC goes down, I make 63 cents per share. And then the short put that I sold has a delta of 53. So you have to minus, 63 minus 53. So the short, since this has a shorter expiration, if this continues to go down, I can end up starting to lose money faster than I'm making money on this. And so at that point, there's no point in me holding the trade anymore. Like I'm capping my gains by doing this. But I did that a couple times over here, and I was able to capture a couple extra dollars by selling puts under this. Because I thought we would actually like have a little bit of a bounce, go sideways. I'd be able to buy this back and then like go lower. I think ARC ultimately, like my target is back into like $60 on ARC. This is going to be like the index for growth crashes. Fubo, I think this thing is FUBAR, and I would not touch it. Like you're probably not shorting it now. Like how much is left? It's a $12 stock, but I'm definitely not going long on FUBAR. PLTR, I got some $20 puts that expire tomorrow, and I do have some shares, and I will probably be letting those shares get sold at $20. So, yeah, I think Palantir could come all the way back to like $11, $12 potentially. There's so many people trapped on this. I mean, let's see. I want. Where is the? Did they move this? There you go. Let's adjust this to like. Oh, I thought that would go the other way. Oh, here we go. Ticks per row. There you go. So as far as like where the volume is, like the most amount of volume was up around 24. So if you say like, hey, most people are in around 24, like they're just getting smokehoused. So and you got this big hole in the volume profile over here. Yeah, Palantir looks terrible. Thank God for protective puts. And again, they're not free. Like it's not free to buy insurance, and you can still lose money, but you're not going to lose as much money. So yeah, a lot of these stocks they just don't look good, unfortunately. Like Roku looks like absolute death. Thank God I'm out of that one. I mean, Teladoc, this is Kathy's favorite stock. This keeps getting blasted. Net, I think, is going to go lower. Snowflake, I don't know how Snowflake is not already down on like 250. I'm short Snowflake. The valuation is absolutely insane. I don't understand how it's not down lower. You, again, I like you, but the valuation's crazy, so I think this goes lower. All these stocks that don't make money and have crazy valuations, I think they continue to go down. They're gonna have small little rips like this. I think all those rips are to be sold. I like CrowdStrike, but I don't like this until like 140 and lower. Zscaler, Okta, all of these things. Let's see, Upstart. I mean, this. Wow. Wow. Oh, wait, I already looked at Snow. What was the other one? SoFi. They're going to disrupt banks by becoming a bank. I'm not a believer in this one at all. So that really got sold into yesterday. What's the, oh, A firm? That's right. Buy now, pay never. This is like the dumbest business idea I've seen in a long time. That guy topped Upstart. Yeah, I think he did. The dude that was on CNBC. But a firm, buy now, pay never. I just horrible business idea. I, yeah, I wouldn't touch any of these. If you made money during this, like congratulations. But if you held through this, I mean, that sucks. So let's see. Some of the ones we'll be looking at is AMD. So AMD is breaking outside of yesterday's range, so that's probably tradable. Yesterday's range. Apple's inside. Tesla's inside. Yesterday's range. Delta inside yesterday's range. I think the American Airlines CEO said, "Oh yeah, business travel is going to come back." It's like business travel ain't coming back. I don't know what that guy's talking about. It's like Jamie Dimon asking for 12 rate hikes or something. It's like, well, of course you want 12 rate hikes. Pumping his own business. Or like the Moderna CEO being like, "Yeah, everyone needs 5 boosters." Well, of course. Our time is starting to come to an end on YouTube, but I want to give us a quick plug. Next week we got the free week, so you can be in our trading rooms from let's see, it's 7 a.m. my time, so 9 o'clock Eastern to 2 o'clock Eastern, and our swing trading room as well from 5 to 6 Eastern. All you got to do is click in here. There's no like you got to enter your credit card or anything like that. It's completely free. You can come hang out with us, trade, just chat about trades, and explore our community. But I really don't like this little gap up for the Bulls, honestly. Because it's like this is just a retest to get sold again. I would have much preferred like a gap down, everyone freaks out, and then we rally. I also think that these types of where we just kind of grind lower and it takes a longer period of time. This is less it's not as good for the Bulls. Like really sharp snapbacks like this, generally get bought up pretty quick. This one kind of feels like it's just been slowly grinding. It's had some really crazy bullish rips in it, and then it just continues to resolve lower. I don't know. I think we continue to sell into like the Fed meeting. We'll see what the Fed says. Maybe even into the first rate hike as the market tries to figure out what the Fed's the most powerful player in the room. So don't fight the Fed. And it looks like they're going to be hawkish, and it looks like they're going to tighten monetary policy. So that is usually not bullish for a lot of where the market cap in the indexes are weighted. So we will see what happens. I mean, I would like the Qs to come back to like 340. I would love to see SPY back down into like 420. That's very, I mean, that's just like normal pullback, normal correction. Problem is, like, we haven't had one in a long time, so people think a 12% correction is like some crazy crash. I think you usually get at least one 20% pullback a year, and we haven't had any last year. So, all right, YouTube. See y'all tomorrow. Peace out, Tribe Scout.